Hey Scrap Bosses, how about a traveler's notebook spread? I've got one for you today. This one's called Awesome, Embracing This. And I'm going to scrapbook this photo, and it just occurred to me that I scrapbooked this photo in another process video recently, so just bear with me. I needed a selfie for the spread. This little traveler's notebook is all about me and my random thoughts and stuff, and sometimes you just need a place to house your random thoughts and experiences, stuff that you wouldn't necessarily make a full scrapbook layout about. So I'm going to use some LE Studio goodies from the Noteworthy collection, the Family Fun, Home is Where the Heart Is, and a few other things that I was sent recently. I did post some links down below if you're interested in any of these products. And of course, you know, I love me some LE Studio like no other. And by the way, they are one of 4 2019 Victoria Marie Scrapbook Retreat sponsors. So thank you, LE Studio, for your generous support of the retreat. I absolutely love their products, and I love their stamp sets. So I'm going to be using 3 of the stamp sets, or maybe 2 of the stamps. No, actually all 3. Also those puffy stickers, die cuts, and cut aparts, as well as this title builder stamp that I had been stocking for quite a while, and they so graciously sent that to me for me to use. I've been using LE Studio products for a very, very long time, so I'm a huge fan, and I highly recommend them. So I am really trying to feel my way around traveler's notebooks, and I like the small size, but I think sometimes I have to really think about what it is that I want to document in a traveler's notebook. So between all the different projects and stuff that we have and options available to us as memory keepers, sometimes I think we can go overboard on it. However, I wanted a spot where I could just put random stories. So this is one of these things, the random stories. And I realized recently that I don't document my interests as much as I used to, like where I'm at this point in life. So I took this photo the day before my birthday, which was March 23rd. I almost forgot my birthday. And I wanted to create a traveler's notebook spread that kind of talks about what I'm feeling right now. What are my interests? What am I into? So I took some pattern paper from the cute little springtime 6x6 pattern paper collection from LE Studio, and I just trimmed those down and added that to my traveler's notebook. Next up, I'm going to create some clusters on this page. I'm going to create 3. And the way that I attack traveler's notebook documenting, or at least design of a spread, is that I look at it as a small scrapbook page. So if I was going to do this as a 12 by 12, what are some of the elements that I would put on a 12 by 12? And then I scale it down. And that's how I'm able to create these spreads. So I'm taking some of the labels, the one says notes, and then real life, I just layered that, popped that up on the top. I'm going to put some journaling there. I have one by the photo with the purple label and a red one that says right now. And then I'm going to create a layered cluster here on the left-hand side using a tag, as well as this other label that says memo, or die cut rather. Awesome, Embracing This is going to be the title. I'm going to create the title using that title builder stamp set. So in the stamp set, you get different types of font styles, both large and then small. So the idea is that you can mix and match these depending on what you want your title to be. And then of course you'll have some interest because the font sizes and styles are different. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp on the word awesome. And then underneath that, I'm going to stamp the words Embracing This. So the title is going to read Awesome, Embracing This. I'm using some Memento Tuxedo Black ink to do this. It's nice and quick drying and I love it. I'm just going to stamp that right underneath there. Just trying to make sure that I get it positioned as straight as I possibly can. I don't have an eye for straight, so sometimes my stuff comes out wonky. I think that came out okay. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that to, or attach that to the left-hand side of the traveler's notebook. I'm going to bring in some die cuts as well as some puffy embellishments. I try not to use things that are two-dimensional on a traveler's notebook spread because I don't want the album to kind of bulk and fall apart. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that purple heart from the little die cut pack. Next up, I'm going to add these puffies. I love these puffy stickers. They're probably one of my favorite items from LE Studio outside of the stamps. I'm going to put a star at each cluster, a yellow one, a navy blue, or I guess it's more of a royal blue, and then a turquoise there at the bottom. Next up, I want to put the date. So I grabbed the mini dated stamp set, again, another one of my favorite stamp sets. And with the stamp set, it gives you some labels that you can stamp in the dates. So I auditioned this one that has date, and of course it's a clear box. I decided against it. So I'm going to grab another one, and it has 3 boxes. So you can put the date according to however you do that. I know in some countries you put the day, month, and year. In the States we put the month, day, and year. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on a piece of heavy-duty white solid cardstock. And I'm going to stamp in the date March 22nd, 2019 using the individual numbers. Now this stamp set's perfect because it gives you 2 number 2s and 2 number 1s, which is great for whenever you need a date that's, obviously 11 and 22. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cut out. And what I've done is I've made my own die cut. And this is a really great way to get some mileage out of your stamps without having to use a whole bunch of embellishments or feel like you have to go out and buy any. Next up, I'm going to use the Currently stamp set. This is another one of my favorites. And it has some buzz terms there. So like exploring, loving, let's see, what are some others? Reading, watching. It also has some labels that you can embed these little words into. So I'm going to grab this label here, again stamping with my Memento Tuxedo black ink. And then I'm going to stamp the word, I believe that's exploring. And I'm just testing this out to see how I like it. And I do. So I go ahead and stamp some more labels. And what these are going to do is it's going to serve as prompts for my journaling. Now, sometimes I like, well, not sometimes. If you've been following me for some while, then you know I love to journal. But sometimes I don't have a lot to say. But I want to make sure that I add journaling on my project anyway. And this spread was all about what I am into right now, what's currently going on in the life of Victoria Marie. So I went ahead and stamped all of these images, and now I'm just cutting them out using my tonic scissors. And these labels are going to be used as prompts for my journaling. So once I have them all cut out, I just position them on my Traveler's Notebook spread. So 2 of them are going to go to the left-hand side and 3 are going to go to the right-hand side. I like breaking up my journaling this way because if anybody's looking at it, it forces them to travel along the entire page and not just stay on one side of the page. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that up with some Tombow Mono. And now I am writing in my journaling. So currently reading The Sisters of Winterwood. Yes, I am still currently reading that book. Listening to the podcast called What Works. I'm loving all things Disney, which is, typical of me. I'm really, really into Disney right now because we're getting ready to plan our next trip. Exploring card making and mixed media. And watching Once Upon a Time on Netflix. I binge that series all the time because I love it so much. So that's kind of what's going on with me currently. And you know what? Those things may change within a few months because there's always something that I'm interested in. It's always something that I'm doing. And I like using the Traveler's Notebook spread to be able to document stories like this, particularly when I don't really need to do an entire layout. This video was made possible in part by the Victoria Marie Scrap Boss patrons. If you're interested in supporting Victoria Marie designs for as little as $5 a month, you can get exclusive access to fantastic content you can't find anywhere. The link's posted down below. And as always, the links to all available products are listed down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. When you do, click that bell indicator. That way you'll know each and every time I post a new video to this channel.